I can't help it but laugh every time I see that. Hey, good evening, everyone. This is round number 2 for the Delmarva Live show. First one was a pretty good success, and man, we got a heck of a cast of members here tonight. And I'm going to pretty much just turn it over to somebody.
Over to somebody?
That would be you, R2. So, and
right.
You can I'll let you introduce all of our guests.
Oh no! I go one at a time. They get to introduce themselves. They can talk. They're all big.
That's fine. I'll tell you what. We'll start that way. Tennessee guys.
Tennessee guys go first.
Hey, I'm Adam Martin. Appreciate y'all having us on the podcast tonight. And I'm FFA advisor down here, and we put on the poll there at White Pine a week or so ago. And let him introduce himself.
I'm Josh Wallmeyer. I'm graduated from this school. I'm vice president of the FFA Alumni Association here. I was involved in helping get the pool going a week or so ago also. Thank you for having us.
That'd be you, Mr. Oliver.
David Jones, thanks for having us. We're hosting it here at Jones Family Farm.
I'm Richard McIntyre. The reason we're at Jones Farm is hopefully we won't have any Wi-Fi problems tonight. I'm currently the president of Delmarva Tractor Pullers Association.
And I'm Olin Simpkins, as you know me, vice president of Delmarva at the present time, and one of your hosts. We're looking forward to y'all having a good time. Go ahead.
Nicole?
I'm Nicole Morrison. I'm up here at Mason-Dixon Grounds as well as Fallen Grove Old Time Days.
Brian. The first Brian, the little one.
I'm Brian Rutroff, and our club put on the Chatham pool.
Brian Lester, Southwestern Antique Tractor Association, chairman of the board.
All right. You PA boys?
Yep, I'm Greg Remley from Central PA. Don Hilkert, I put on the Mid-Atlantic Super Pool, PA.
All right. All right. Awesome. So what we want to do first is kind of, since obviously Chatham's in the books, Harrisburg's in the books.
First of all, we're going to kind of explain what show's about.
Help yourself.
Yeah, you could talk.
So what I'm told this year is supposed to be about is
he's a little bossy tonight, ain't he?
He's a little bossy every day. That's not just tonight. The main idea is kind of share ideals, get antique tractor pulling out there a little more, share information between groups so everybody kind of, Tennessee might not know what Maryland is doing. Maryland might not know what Pennsylvania is doing. Kind of just share ideals, what club's doing what. Every little bit helps. I think every time a representative from one club attends another pool, I think, at least for myself, I can say we all learn something. So it's kind of to push this ideal of information sharing and public outreach a little further from more antique pulling. I explained that well enough?
I think you did a fine job.
Okay.
All right.
Now.
And we're Delmarva representatives, and so we kind of like to stir things up a little bit, and everywhere we go, just about one way or the other. and podcasting is probably what's going to be our new venture and stirring things up.
Maybe gave you a new platform.
Give us a new platform to stir it up and a bigger stick. Anyway,
You don't need it.
probably not. But there is some fine polling going on in a lot of places. There's hometown grassroots polling going on. There's groups taking over where other groups left off. There's new groups forming, and all of them have so many different ways to get there and have rich history on how they got to where they're at. We're going to start right now with Mr. Cole as a local one.
Hold on, JR.
Yes.
Just for everybody out there that might be new, that they have signed in before, maybe they haven't. Just remind everybody if they happen to want to comment on this lovely venture online, just remind them how they can do that. That's
Yes, you can actually just log over to the chat. Easier to do so if you go to the YouTube channel, We Pulling Videos, and click on this live stream, and you can ask questions in the comments. I'm getting ready, getting ready to turn that on, and I'll start monitoring that, and I'll post them on the screen here. And you can also comment on Facebook. It takes it a few more minutes to get to us, but we'll get it. We just won't know who you are unless you list your name from Facebook.
And it's nice that they want to tell us where they're from.
where they're from.
Absolutely.
See what the outreach is.
It's meant to be an outreach, and it's meant to be an interactive event. So just want to get that out there before we get rolling too far. You want to start? Where do you want to go?
Nicole,
There you go.
I'd like to hear from the local
Ladies
polls.
first.
Nicole got 2 polls she's representing, and she's trying to do grassroots polling, come back from existing location to a new setup. Let's hear what she has to tell us, what she's got on her mind coming up.
Our first pool of the year up here at Mason-Dixon is April 29th. That's going to be our test and tune, $10 a hook, running from 3,000 up to 15.5, 3.5 mile an hour. 6 mile an hour, we're running 3,000 to 9,500 pounds. Classics are 7,000 to 15,000 pounds. We have another pool June 17th, running the exact same stuff. It'll be $15 a hook. July 12th is our fair pool. Same concept. We'll be running 2 sleds that night. Friday of that fair, the 14th, we are running an invitational only pool, which I was talking to I have talked to about. We do have the classes picked out. We are running 8 mile an hour, 4,500, 5,000, 5,250, 5,500, and 5,750. 15 mile an hour is 4,500, 5,000, and 5,500. And then we're going to run open at 10.5, which will be an exhibition run, as well as a non-turbo exhibition as well.
On your invitation only pool, is there a hook limit per tractor, or is it just as many
Two.
dollar bills as we want to throw at you? There
Two.
you go. There's your answer.
That's typical Delta number.
Well, we have our truck pool that same night, so we're trying to fit some of you guys in at the same night as our truck pool.
A lot of hooks.
Yes.
Trust me. A lot of hooks.
JR, will you be there recording?
Maybe so.
Probably
Yep.
so.
It's only 4.5 miles from home, so I better be there. Nicole might shoot me.
Yeah.
She's a long distance shot.
Well, she just got to shoot up over the ridge, and she probably hit me.
All right.
Anything else you want to put out there while you got the floor?
Fawn Grove is June 24th and 25th. That Saturday night, we're running 6 mile an hour, 10 mile an hour, and open, just like we did last year. Same weight classes. And then that Sunday will be our normal pool. No fast classes, 3.5 and 6. At July, the Invitational, you will have a 50% payout for the winner of each class.
All right. Been so good at picking so far. Who's next?
Well, right. Let's go right to our host there. Next screen. Oh, Black Man. There you go.
One of them's there.
All right. Well, Josh talks. Hey,
There's
Josh.
Yes.
Hey, Josh, give us an overview where the FFA started and how you ended up in the big arena. I think one time you told me you pulled in the snow.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get your pull done. You have rich history of pulling, and your association with East Tennessee.
Well, when this pool started, it was the FFA chapter put it on here at our local fairgrounds. In 2002 was our first pool. And the way we got to the arena was that probably more years than not, it was raining or something. We had to move to Sunday because of rain on Saturday or whatever. And then last year, yes, we drug snow off the track and got a dozer when the snow got too much for the scraper to make us a track to have a pool. And so we decided to go to Water State this year. And it was a huge success. It really was more than what we thought it would be starting out, really. But when it first started, it was just the FFA chapter put it on, and then over the years, as our alumni association has come along, then we kind of took that off the advisors. They helped us with it, but used to it was all on the FFA advisors and chapter to get this pull off. And we went from a big pull at the fairgrounds was what, 130, 40 hooks.
We hooked biggest pull we had at the fairgrounds. We hooked close to 200 one day on a single sled, but we quit pulling that day about 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, and that's when diesel truck pulling was big here. And we had probably had 45 or 50 hooks off of diesel trucks. So I actually, when I came here as advisor, I said, hey, I like this tractor pulling. Why can't we incorporate that into a fundraiser? And Josh here was actually one of my students. I know I look about 15 years younger than him, but he was one of my students. And so he was in on that first pull we did in 2002. And that day we all got sunburns, and we got up the next morning to go to Easter sunrise service, and there was snow on the ground. But we always tried to have an early pull so people could use us as a place to kind of test and tune and get ready for the club pulls and that kind of thing. And like Josh told you, last year we had horrible weather. We managed to get the pull in, but while we were sitting there, we said there's got to be a better way of doing this. And we scheduled the Expo Center in White Pine, and from there it just kind of developed. I mean, this is our 21st year of doing a pull, but y'all have never heard of us before this year. And the whole reason is because we're riding the coattails of the East Tennessee Antique Tractor Association with what they've built at White Pine. Everybody knows that name as far as tractor pulling goes. So we decided real quick, if we're going to do this at White Pine, it better be a White Pine caliber pull and not a fairgrounds pull. And so the committee worked really hard to make some plans and get the word out there. And when we started seeing emails from some of you guys and people pre-registering from Maryland, we said, hang on, this is growing right here. So it turned out to be really good, I think, for the first year, and we're looking for it to be bigger and better next year.
Mm-hmm. Do you think you stay at one day or go to two?
Committee's recommended going to two just because we don't want to be there till Sunday. We'd like to get it all in on, in a reasonable amount of time. So I think if the pullers want to come back and pull with us, I think we can do a 2-day event.
Mm-hmm.
You stop drooling.
That's interesting. Hey, while I got you, yours was the only pull I've ever been to where the scale stopped at 10,000 pounds. Give the history on that whole 10,000 pounds, and no more after 10 you don't weigh.
Well, the reason that the scales stop at 10,000 pounds is because a lot of the scales, the sleds around here, their scales, that's as big a load cells as they have in them. Or they're at that point, they're afraid of starting to bust load cells. So when we had these big 1066s and stuff showing up like that. We just put a 10,000 plus weight on it and bypass the scale. You just pull what you run, whatever you weigh, however
I
fast you
think
take.
you had a John Deere 23,000 pounds.
That's what they said.
We can't prove that because we wouldn't let him on the scales. But going back several years ago, we had some of those big tractors come in, and they were just farm tractors coming straight out of the field, driving down the road and into the fairgrounds to hook and pull. And so they were pulling up on the sled. A lot of those guys wanted, or up on the scales. A lot of those guys wanted to know what their tractor weighed. And the sled operator came out of the cab of the sled running over through there. Don't let them on. Don't let them on. They're going to break the scales. So at that point, we just created it as a 10,000 plus class. Anything goes. If you can hang it on it, bring it.
Was there a speed limit on them guys?
No.
And from
What you call run what you run.
what I remember was 10,000 plus pound tractors running all they could run. You would stop them in 180 foot indoors. And then you pull V8s afterwards in mini pickups.
Right.
Pretty impressive.
We want it to be, we're doing this as a fundraiser for the FFA alumni. So it's one thing to put on a pull and break even, and we tried to offer some good payouts or decent payouts to try to get the pullers there and make them happy. But we've got to try to get spectators there. And with an antique pull, you get the people that come with the tractors. But as far as spectators, we just don't get a lot in this area. So the big tractors, the V8s, and those trucks are what we're trying to sell admissions with to get people sitting in the seats. And that's where the profit comes from.
I left after dark, about 8, 9 o'clock, and your parking lot in front of the building was full of vehicles, of ticket buyers, people coming in. During your 1 day pull that you had down there, what was your total hooks you did on each sled? Because we always like to compare how groups did with hooks and what they had to deal with to get there.
Well, we had a total of 300 hooks. Now, I haven't actually broke down how many on each sled, but
But you had a bracket pull too.
That was not counting the bracket pull. So aside from the bracket pull, we had 300 hooks.
Thank you. All right. If you guys have something you want to add on later, come back to us. We're not done with you yet. Don't disappear.
So I'm trying to stay on the script here, but we'll get screwed up for the night's over, I guarantee you. So do you have any idea kind of what was your furthest traveling tractor to get there at your last pull?
Wisconsin.
Yeah, we had one for Wisconsin. I don't know if that's first.
That's a pretty good hike.
That's a pretty good haul. I don't know how many hours it is from here to Wisconsin, but it's a long way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I know it's 19 hours from my doorstep to Toma, Wisconsin. I'm in northeastern Maryland, so I can imagine. Pretty far.
All right. Nicole also showed us a picture. I think that was Delta Track, wasn't that? But she flashed up.
Yeah,
there.
she's actually in the middle of a meeting. It just started, so she'll be back and forth with us. So yeah, she was showing us footage of the Delta Track. Yeah.
All right, let's talk to Team Brian.
Brian and Brian. I don't care which one of you go first. We're in Chatham, Virginia. Let's roll.
Tell us a little bit
say
about the history of Chatham, where you come from, and how you got to where you're at now, and where do you see you coming, and how and you pull. Let's anywhere in that section, fill us in.
Go for it, Brian.
So the history on Chatham, couple of members came up with that. This is our third year there. That indoor arena is local to us. Most of our club is around the Rocky Mountain, Virginia area, and the Chatham, probably about an hour hike for them. Like I said, it's the closest one to our home location there. Each year it seems to be getting better. I wasn't able to attend the first year, but the second and third year I was. You know, it's great venue. Everybody seems to like the area. You know, we've had a lot of positive feedback about that place, and I know this year we had a couple of bumps in the road, but we all bonded together and got through all that, and everybody can't wait. I talked to a guy that said he'd drive 1,000,000 miles to come back there and do it again. So we've had nothing but good things told to us about it, and just can't wait till next year to go there. So,
what type of hook count do you generally run there, Brian?
I think it was around 1,200. I think with the bracket and the Friday and Saturday.
The first year, I think we had around seven something, and now I think like Brian said, it's up to about 12.
Mm-hmm.
First year, you're only one day too.
Do what?
The first year, it was only a 1 day pull.
No.
It was 2 days.
No, it was 3
No,
days.
no, it was when they were Boone's Mill
It
on
was a one-time day.
Go back to sleep, Dave.
Okay.
That's nice of Brian.
But
Thank you, Speedy.
It was like Brian said, it was a couple that had the idea and pursued it and put it. All of us put it together. We have an outstanding club. I mean,
I got to give you guys a hand because you guys do a great job down there. Really,
I mean, we have some great people that have really helped us out. So, and if it wasn't for the people, the traveling people, we wouldn't be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
We have a bunch come. Well, they come from everywhere, but it's just if you didn't have the traveling pullers, none of us would be able to have these things.
Yeah. A lot of them, I'd say, were 4+ hours. A lot of them.
Yep.
Easy 4+ hours.
You know, we really appreciate the people that travel.
And now, do you stay in a 2-day pull? 3-day pull?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've already been working on getting the dates and getting everything ironed out for next year.
I think one of the
later
things.
in the month. Please, later in the month.
No, you got to change your school. This is
Okay. I ain't worried about school. I'm good to go for 24 now.
I think one of the noticeable things I noticed in Chatham, and I noticed it at all 3 polls, was there was women pulling. But in Chatham, it seemed like to be really a large amount of women pulling in Chatham. I thought that was very unique in Chatham. With the 3 polls, Greg and Don will be coming on directly. And all 3 of you have entirely different registration procedures, and all 3 of them work very well. And I'll be back to talk about each of your registration and how you get information out, because registration and getting information out is a big challenge for all polls. So when I get to Greg and Don, we're going to talk about yours too. I know you had a new registration man this year, and from Washingtonville, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, that'd be correct.
And he did I hear he did an awesome job. And we'll let you explain that. So what do you want to do that? All right, let's go. We're going to go talk to Don and Greg right now.
Yeah, real quick, Owen. Somebody wants to know if you're going to Trot Run next Saturday.
Oh, no. This time of year, not much travel on Owen's schedule. It was enough to get here to Jones Dairy Barn on time. Richard didn't make it on time. He's slow. We had him baited with pizza and everything.
Let's put it this way. It was enough for me to get up here tonight.
I understand.
Yeah. So, but we'll be back to wanting to go places. And Trot Run, even had Mr. McIntyre Trot Run last year. Dave's been there before. No, you haven't been there, Trot Run? Trot Run's a very unique track. It can rain right up to a half hour for pull time. And guess what you're doing? You're going pulling. Got to hand it to the Quiggers. But we'll get back to Don and Greg. Tell us how Harrisburg started to the best of your memory and how far it's progressed and changed over the years and where it's going to and your hook count and whatever else you can think of. Let's go with
All
you.
the above.
We'll be glad to hear from you.
All the above.
Well, I think it started with Brad Peters about 10 years ago, 11. He decided to drop out, so Ray and I took it over. For our first year, I think we did pretty good. We had like a 1,206 count hooks for 2 days. We changed the registration a little bit from Brad having it, which I think went over well. The guys that built the track did an excellent job building them and kept it maintained for us. Hopefully we can make some changes, let it grow a little more than we was in the next couple of years.
How was fan attendance for all of you? I'm kind of jumped out of line here. Sorry, guys. I'm just curious how fan attendance was.
Note of that.
Like most of these pools, not many. We had a few people watching, but it wasn't that many.
Tennessee was Tennessee.
So,
We had 700.
Don, go ahead.
Adam, answer JR's question about spectators.
We had about 735 paid admission.
Okay.
That was different.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
You mix it all in there, you get that.
The variance of these three polls is huge on how you guys survive to pay your bills and get it done. Harrisburg probably got the biggest price tag of building. So they have to go out a different way. And over the years, that's been the way they solve it. Chatham has a whole different attitude. Harrisburg, probably, I don't think you'd be doing bracket pools. You're going to stay more to the traditional run classes, I believe, won't you, in the future?
Yeah, because to take the building on another day, that's another $5,000. So I don't see that happening for us to run a bracket.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. Have to generate $5 for the building and then the bracket itself and everything else. That's a big expense.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So there's a lot there's a lot of differences in the polls, location wise, food wise, where do you go to eat, where you stay at. Weather can be different too. That's for sure. So Nicole back with us. She's good. She's done her meeting. Was that a picture of your track there, Nicole? You just had in the background for a little while?
No, not mine.
Oh, that wasn't Delta track or a different track?
Yeah.
All right. All right. The guys from FFA in Tennessee, Adam and Josh, tell me about your registration. Now, you had a thing you could go up to with your phone and take a picture of it and could see classes. My phone didn't want to do it right, but a lot of people could do it and it worked very good. Can you tell us about how that went? That was different.
Well, it's the first time we had tried that at a pool. And what you're talking about on the posters, we had a QR code that you could scan with your phone. And we initially set that up so that pullers could scan it and see the rules on their phone. The polling order, they could do the same thing. And we thought that'll be helpful rather than having a bunch of paper copies floating around everywhere. And the registration system that we use is just a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that I created several years ago. But this year, because of the setup at White Pine, we used it as a live document. And that way the ladies in the registration booth, whatever they put into the system, when I was sitting in the crow's nest, I could see it real time. And as we were getting all that, the kinks worked out, I said, hey, why can't we use a QR code so pullers can pull up this registration form? They can see the pull in order, they can see the distances pulled, the results in real time. And so the lady that I work with is really good on the technology part and QR codes. She kind of introduced me to those with her greenhouse sales. I walked in the greenhouse and there's stickers on all the plants with QR codes, and you scan them and it'll tell you how much sunlight it needed and how much water and all that kind of stuff. So I got her to assist me with that, and we were able to do a link to the live document and do it in a way that no one could edit the document but us. That was one concern. Not that tractor pullers would change their distance at all, but we didn't want to give them that chance. But we got a lot of positive feedback from that. I think a lot of people liked the way that worked, and pretty simple process to make it happen.
Brian, you have them TV screens in Chatham. They work pretty good too. For getting information across, correct?
Yeah, the first year we were there, we didn't have the screens, and the folks at the facility put that up, and we were able to get linked into it, and it showed as the girls enter it in, it shows exactly what's going on, and that way it's real time.
I think you guys, not putting anybody down, you guys have the most lively announcers. There's no doubt about it. They talk about Officer Jenkins like he's a friend of the family.
They're never short for words, that's for sure.
Oh, them guys can go off. How did I was not at Harrisburg, so Greg, how did you and Don get the information out?
We used Facebook quite a bit and just word of mouth. A lot of it was our advertisement.
Do you see a change in that, or are you going to probably just stay that venue?
Yeah, probably stay that way, and for now, I guess.
Okay. There was something you did at Harrisburg that was kind of trend setting with the speed horn. You took away the watcher at the 100-foot cone. And I understand it in a lot of respects because it takes a lot of manpower to watch a cone for 2 days on 2 tracks. How did that go over?
For the most part, pretty good.
Look at Greg.
I didn't do no pulling this year there. I like it because it puts everything on a fair playing field.
It speeds
up.
Does it? Well, the other 2 poles have a cone watcher, and they're listening what you have to say, and everybody else is listening. So it's not a right or wrong decision here of any means. It's just a discussion about something that pullers talk about, and it's just different variants.
Well, like you said, it's manpower. It takes a lot of people to put a pull on at those calipers.
To have somebody sit, you wouldn't catch me sitting at that cone all day. I don't know how Larry Burkholder does as much as he does.
Well, you also take the argument out of it.
Yes.
It's no longer, was it the tractor? Was it the sled? I see it here. You see it there. You call me. I shouldn't have been. The signboard lights up. You're overspeed. End of discussion.
Yeah, pretty much puts it to the driver of the tractor to know he's tractor. That's all.
Yeah. So, is it a thing coming for all poles? Don't know. But this is tractor pulling in discussion. So we discuss it. We just mention it and move on. So I thought that was pretty unique. And registration is different. Now, Greg, when I got you on here, you're trying to unite the northern PA tier to running in similar setups and spread the dates out. Tell me how that's coming along and how you trying to set up some bracket poles up that way, and how you points your way into a bracket pool. Explain some of that going on.
Yeah, we're trying to keep all the cut tires at 18 inches back, 20 inches high, for 3.5, 4, and 6 mile an hour classes, small tire, big tire. Because we have a pull every weekend. If we want to pull, we could pull every weekend at a different track from April till November.
Yep.
Yeah,
So-
Beaver Springs pulled, not Beaver Springs, Buffalo Valley last Saturday, right?
Yep.
Sunday, yep.
Sunday, Buffalo
Yep.
Valley pulled.
So that's what we're, that's one thing that we're trying to get united and all, any cut tires for the 3.5, 4 mile an hour classes. We're allowing double cuts for all that. Trying to get we got 2 clubs that are kind of wishy-washy about it, but
Are they still straight top cut only?
Say what?
Are they still straight top cut only?
There's 2. One
right
now. Yeah, West End area.
West End Fair
is top cut only. They're talking about changing that, but we're gonna find out.
And you're going to standardize the drawbar to all 1820s? Instead of
Right now, most of our clubs are that way for cut tire. Yes.
So the 24s is about gone.
Yeah.
How many places still have a rope walker?
Oh my God.
Richard
One.
experienced that. He hadn't gotten over it yet.
No.
One pole has the rope yet, and that's still at Beaver Springs.
Yeah. You didn't get to the rope, did you? Dave, don't let it go. Dave wants to come pull it.
Oh, it's interesting.
It's the wrong time of year.
Well, you might make it. Might be a rainy day or
That'll
something.
make Matthew work.
Yeah, that'll help. So you're trying to uniform all the polls up there. Tell us how it is to do a points to get into a bracket pool. Some of us haven't done that. I know I was talking to Mike Hitchens, and he said several pools up that way have started that behavior.
Yeah, so we got two pools. Well, we got 3 this year that's going to be doing that. We got one at Grange Fairgrounds in Center Hall, PA, which is on June 3rd. What they do is they have 4 classes. You can hook in 3 of them. We're pulling 5, 55, 6, and 65, and you get so many points for. It's just a points thing for wherever you place, and then you got to get the top 15 in points in those three classes that you hooked in. They're moving to a mini bracket, they call it.
And how big is the mini bracket, Jimmy?
15 tractors.
15
tractors, and then the first tractor would get a bye.
Right.
And then that's it. And that's just so that way they can set the sled, because they're going to change the sled from the last hook, and then they just go from there.
Would that be the only bracket, or would that be a bracket on small tire, and then a bracket on big tire done the same way?
No, they do a small tire in the morning at 10 a.m. and then they're tear the track up why people change tires and put big tires on, and then they do it again with big tires 6 mile an hour.
When they do that bracket like that, are they doing it like seeding them? So the number 1 puller would be the longest distance, have the most points.
Yes. Yeah, it goes from points, 1, 2, 3, all the way down.
Right.
For the first hook, then I think they went second, went to 15.
Yeah.
Then third down the line,
Just like a regular bracket, like a basketball or whatever. Yeah.
Top seed.
Yeah.
Top seed, low seed, wrestling bracket, anything like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Somebody understands it.
Yep.
And then we have another one up in a little bit north of there, up Burr Hill. They do a 5 class. It starts at 45 up to 65, and they do a top 8 in points, what they do there is the top 8 in points will pull a 5,500 pound class because it's the middle of the weight classes, and then those top 8s will have a pull off for what they're calling the King of the Hill. But there they have 5 classes, you can only hook 4. And then, what they do is they're charging like $25 a hook. $5 goes to the club because they have got to make some money. Then they're putting $5 towards the King of the Hill jackpot class for every hook. And then they're also paying back the other $15 for every hook, pays back the top 3 places. So I mean you can that's what's been going on up here, is paying back between 70 to 75% paybacks on all of our pools, and that's drawing some guys in.
And that's changed. That's all changed in the last 3 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of pools are starting to pay back more because they're getting more tractors there now.
And they're trying to watch their dates not overlap each other as bad. But there's fairs, and everybody has fairs, and it will overlap it somewhat. Yeah, we have some communication issues once in a while, but for the most part, our clubs all seem to work pretty good together. Mm-hmm.
Greg, how many clubs are up your way?
Oh boy. You got probably about 8 within an hour and a half of my house.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we got pools everywhere.
We got quite a few. But now also you got like the Southern boys, a lot of times their small tires 16.9 38s. Ours is 15.5 38s and 16.9 34s. I feel that we that helps us a lot too, because this the non-cut guys, they still got to run the 15.5 38s and 16.9 34s and smaller, and tires are getting hard to come by now. So.
Oh yeah.
And then our double, any cut tire now is pretty much at every place that we pull is any cut. It don't matter, front cut, top cut, any cut. So
if they want to run a V cut, they run a V cut. It's any cut if they want to.
Yep.
That's the only car they had. They can run it.
You get on good tracks. There's times I wonder if those double cuts even work as good as a top cut.
Same boat.
Oh yeah.
It just brings a dead tire back to life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does. So that's going on. How about down there, Brian and Brian? I believe you got some summer polls coming up, and you got a fall bracket poll coming up too, don't you?
Yep.
We've got a good event planned for June the 17th. We've got the Oddpaw sled, which is from North Carolina, lined up. 4, 6, 8, and 12 mile-an-hour classes. A couple King of the Hill, 50% payback, and some added money and different things. We'll get closer to time. We'll do a little advertising on that, but everybody's kind of looking forward to that. We had a little pull last year on a Friday night, and that was a good time. It was at night. We got rain, and it got thrown so late at night. So I don't think we're going to try to do that nighttime thing this year. But instead, we're going to have this non-points pool at the rec park there in Franklin County, and like I said, it's on June 17th. But it'll be more info to be shared closer to the date.
Brian Rudolph, Richard needs to go there, right?
Do what?
Richard needs to go there, right?
Yes, by all means.
Yeah, I thought I mentioned it.
Just thought you mentioned it.
Yes.
And then we have our another bracket pool scheduled for September the September the 18th, I think. 19th.
16th, September 16th.
Yeah. So there'll be information coming out about that too.
And Tennessee, you have summer polls going on as well?
East Tennessee Antique will have several going on. I'm not aware of any of their dates or anything like that. But we have several local pulls around here that people can go to.
And the your three groups there, you got a lot of people helping you at these pools. You want to make an honorable mention of your help, because a lot of times pool ends and help gets kind of like not mentioned to the next pool. You want to do any honorable mentions that you want to do while we got you on here? Did they notify them or just appreciate them, show them some something you want to talk about or anything like that?
I think one that we got to do is do the East Tennessee Association. When we started this and decided we was moving up there, we was doing this with one sled, and then we seen how big it was going to get, and called them, and they were willing to bring their sled and the men to operate it, and other additional men to help us with whatever we needed to help with to try to help us succeed. And so I think we definitely need to give them a shout out.
All right. And Brian.
I think ours just needs to go to the club, because I don't think we had a member that wasn't down there that didn't jump in and help.
I think I remember you telling me you had a foot counter on your phone.
I
forgot how many miles you said you walked.
I think I had averaged about 19,000 steps a day.
Whew. I'm like, whew.
Them little legs was getting it, I tell you.
Yeah, and I'm sure Don and Greg verifies a lot of steps at a pool going on, isn't there?
There is, yep. And takes a lot of work.
You got some honorable mentions you want to talk about? I mean, I know who built your track. I know who kept it for you. I hear kudos to your lineup people. They was outstanding. Stayed on the job. Registration, I heard good things about them. Nicole was there. She can verify it. She was in registration. So there's, if you have anything you want to say on that, then I might have Rick talk about some stuff too.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, you have to thank all the pullers that come out and supported us. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Our track crew was great. And something else, that the registration we changed a little bit, made that better, and all them guys did a great job with Nicole's help. And then the other thing, we all think about the sled guys, and setting that sled for 14 hours each day. You got to thank them guys too. They got a good job on them too.
Yeah, I often think the guy sitting in the skid steer running back and forth, and the guy on the roller, that's another tough job.
Yeah, it is.
That's
the guy hooking and unhooking the chain.
The guy hooking and unhooking. I did about 3 of them with that big hook. I've had enough. That hook's heavy, and tracker's always like too far. Yeah. What you got there in front of you want to talk about?
Oh,
change up a little bit.
Let's see. Well, first, I'd like to thank everybody for being here and everybody talking about their pools, and hopefully everybody had a good time sharing some information. So glad to see you all here, and as long as we can keep holding halfway straight, I guess we'll keep doing this.
Question.
Good luck.
Well, he ain't gonna let me out of it either way, so I might as well just figure that one out. I do hear a little bit that apparently my club would like us to talk about Delmarva a little more often, so I am going to put at least 2 things out there that Delmarva is doing. We're having 2 raffles at the same time. It's very limited tickets. It's only 100 raffle tickets a piece for each raffle. One is, and you ain't going to be able to see it, so we'll make sure we get them to our.
See how close you get it in the mic.
Go ahead, Dave.
Dave can do it. Dave can get anything done.
Dave will screw it up, I'm sure. But see what I tell you. That is the pedal tractor that we're raffling off, and that one, all the proceeds are going to go to Shriners Children's Hospital. You can take this one now. And something a little different. For for any of y'all that haven't seen one, Mr. Jackson there makes basically detailed scale models of your pulling tractor if you send him enough pictures. So if you happen to win that raffle, your model's paid for, you send them the pictures of what you want made, and Delmarva Tractor Pullers will pick up the tab. And all the proceeds for that is going to go to our regional hospice center. So kind of our little way of starting to give back on top of our annual donations and things like that. And sounds like we're going to run some charity classes on some special events that'll be a little different than usual, but when we get a little closer to starting pulling season and somebody makes up his mind and stop changing his motion 18 times, we'll get some more information out on basically whatever the classes end up. It's going to be a series of 3 separate events, and longest total distance for each class will win the charity payback, and we'll also give back to some nice charities on those classes. So as JR's had running along the bottom of the screen the whole time, our test and tune will be at wait for it to come back so I don't forget, at Tuckahoe Steam and Gas Association.
I've only been there all night.
And I've had to put up with you two, so I'll take the buy on that one. How about that?
We even got a schedule.
Give me that. See? That will be on April 23rd at 10 o'clock, $10 a hook. And then we have a 8-event schedule that'll be on both Facebook and our website from there. We will run points for the whole season. We will also run our Fair Series points for the year. That's just kind of what we're trying to get done and get up off the ground. We're doing a little bit of kind of the Pennsylvania approach. Our Southern Maryland brothers and sisters have made some changes this year, so we have some classes that we don't spend Thursday and Friday trying to change tractors so we meet their rules or they meet ours. So look at that.
Look at that.
Who sent him that?
He stole it from somebody.
He knew where it was.
So
you're welcome.
Here's the schedule. Guess we should probably tell them that they need to go on Facebook and reach out for the raffle tickets as well. And somebody, one of the 3 or 4 of us, will answer you on Messenger and make sure you get a ticket if you want to buy it.
As long as we still have some.
As long as we still have any, because there's only 100 of each, and we've sold some in the club, obviously. So if either one of those things is something, or either one of those charities is something that interests you, please reach out, buy some tickets, and I think anybody could attest those are 2 pretty good charities.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's going on in Delmarva land for the coming season. These 2 fine gentlemen have something to say.
Hey, be prepared. You never know what's going to be on the next show. Some of the guests will be back. Some might be back at a later date time. Can't tell you. Don't know the answer yet. We hope to have a tech talk session, but that didn't happen tonight. But it'll happen. We have actually a puller from Washington State and a puller from Oregon State that wish to come on. So you don't know where we're reaching out to, where we're not reaching out to. And so we do local, but we do start off East Coast, and local being Delmarva and out and to our next surrounding pulls.
PA, Virginia, and so on and so forth.
So East Coast is where we start, but we go on. And there's a lot of good information out there. There's a lot of organizations in this country. There's a lot to learn from all of them. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to learn with y'all.
That's a real quick question. Over here, Dave, are you guys using a laptop?
Yes.
Is it new?
No.
Okay.
About
I was just thinking maybe there's a protective cover over your camera screen that's causing that haze.
Just
thinking.
Maybe it has a thumbprint.
It's probably a thumbprint. It's Dave. So
it's yeah.
I like being blurry. I prefer it that way. It's okay. Along the same lines of what Olin said, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I will anyway. if anybody out there watching these podcasts or anything like that has anything they'd like to see, like to talk about, JR's on Facebook, Owen's on Facebook, Richard's on Facebook, Dave's on Facebook.
We consider it.
We would, yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
my main paddle over here would consider stirring anything. So, yeah. So, anybody else have anything you want to add for the evening? Because I think we're going to get right at 8:00.
That's okay. We got time.
Yeah, we got another pool or two that I'd like to talk
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely.
We got
Tell us all.
we're starting a pool over at Washingtonville this year. It's a light class. It's going to be from 3250, 3250, 35, 3750, 4, and then 4250. It's going to run non-cut tires is going to be $10 a hook, 50% payback, and then we're running.
What type of tire? What type of speed, Greg?
Well, we're going to have three and a half
non-cut, 4
cut,
small tire, and 6 big tire,
and then an open
and
class.
then an open big tire.
Ooh. Shots fired.
Say what now?
Shots fired from John Smith to Dave.
That's a good supporter right there for us.
Yep.
Also, previous Delmarva president.
Man, don't make his head swell anymore.
Okay,
I gotta work with him.
The cut tire classes, they're $25. Yeah, $25 a hook. Then it's 70% payback. The top 3 places.
That'll
So
be October, right?
yeah, that's October
You've been to Washingtonville.
15th.
15th, I
I
think.
remember.
Okay. I've been there.
What Greg, what club do you guys mainly run with up there? All around basically.
Yeah, we don't pick. I mean, we got some good tracks, and we got some good people, and we all travel together up here.
Okay.
You know, Quiggles
I'm
is
just saying, I got to find some
spot.
schedules for up there, and because every once in a while I get like this. There's nothing to do. I want to go pulling.
Yeah, there's some
a 4-hour
pulls. You know, we're that Burr Hill one, that small tire. We have 35 tractors in the class. You know, most of our cut tire classes average 20
tractors.
20 tractors to 30 tractors on a normal pull week, on a money pull.
Greg, do y'all use a lot of the same sleds, or is there all these little groups of different sleds?
No, we use different sleds. All these clubs have their own sleds, pretty much. Now we will be using Don Hilkard's and Craig Almer's sled at
Mostly
Center
pullback.
Hall.
Mostly pullback.
Yeah. Nope, still cloudy.
Dave, it's okay. We've got through all night.
John Smith noticed. It's okay.
John Smith.
But most of our sleds are all pullback. You know, we got to pull them back.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's the lights.
One mention I want to make, and I want to ask if anybody would like to thank or anything like that for something that went on our poll. The Chatham track, the weekend before we got a hold of it, was a motocross track, and we walked in there and that thing had so many highs and lows in it, it was unbelievable. And we tried to do what we could with the tractors and things that we had there. But Hames Brothers, we put out a call to a couple people there close to the Chatham facility, and Hames Brothers are the contracting company there. They brought their grader over there for us, dropped it off, use it, whatever. Call us when you're done. We want to thank them for that. I couldn't remember the name, but yeah, Hames Brothers there in Chatham. They thank them a whole lot for bringing that over and just dropping it off and letting us do what we need to do with it.
I would add, any of you that are watching, or any of you guys that are willing to come down this way, definitely check out that East Tennessee Antique Tractor Association on Facebook and look at their local pulls that they do. they do an outstanding job at all of those for the whole year. And then, of course, that culminates with the big White Pine Pull first weekend in November. So everybody can look forward to that. And also in Western North Carolina, the Blue Ridge Antique Tractor Association, I think they call it, or Antique Tractor Club, they've started doing a lot of pulls over around Marshall, North Carolina. And they do a really good job putting those together as well. And one shout out I would do from our poll is those that might have been there and looked around, the track workers, the helpers in the registration, basically the entire event. It wasn't being put on by a tractor club. It was a bunch of high school kids. And
they all did a good job. Every piece of equipment moved, and I mean, you guys done good with that. That's for sure.
Appreciate that.
I just want to know what y'all done to that track. I've never seen a track like that in White Pine.
We can't give away our secrets.
The Tennessee boys, they were all like, man, we ain't seen this, but it took some power to get through it. That's for sure.
Well, you talked about that. The Harrisburg track was the same way. That was the best track I've ever seen in Harrisburg.
The only thing that we've done that we've heard that other people hasn't done there was that vibratory roller.
Well, that roller run the whole time. And I know sometimes at White Pine, they would run it a little bit and then not, like between classes or something. But you guys ran that thing the whole time. And that's a couple of us thought the same thing.
All we heard was how that track would fall apart, And they use a wobble wheel, and them's hard to find down around here. And that was what we thought would be the next best thing. And so the last thing I wanted was for the track to fall apart, because then you got to start all over and stop the pull. And so we run it all day.
Did you guys add a lot of water to that before the pull then?
We do not know how much water was put on it. The facility actually ripped the track and put the water on it. And how much they put on it, I don't know, but we did not add
that had to keep that water had to be coming up from the roller.
Yeah, they do.
That'll keep pumping it up.
They know their dirt up there, and they do a really good job of getting the moisture in it. Matter of fact, the Friday night when we came in up there, it was plowed up and watered. My first comment was, I said, well, I don't know, this may need a little bit more water on it. And then when we started packing, it was just, we were all saying, man, this is perfect if it'll stay this way. And I don't think it changed throughout the entire pull. It was
it's the same the whole time we were there. I think we ended up leaving about the time the two-wheel drive trucks pulled that night, about 10 o'clock or 10:30, and it was the same when we got there. The same track when we left as when we got there. So hats off to you guys for that.
That's awesome. And that pull in Washingtonville was October 14th. We just got a message saying not the 15th, it's the 14th.
There you go.
Yeah, the track here at Harrisburg, we put a lot of water in that to hold that, and it worked pretty good. So nothing else special.
Did you run misters during the pull? No.
Yeah.
That's good enough for front weight brackets and hitches.
Broke the front weight. Good enough break a weight bracket. Huh?
Front weight brackets, big hitches.
5 hubs broken.
5 hubs. Wow.
5 hubs. 2 on one tractor.
None of them was on a John.
One weight bracket.
Yeah, weight bracket. I heard a hitch.
Nothing on a John Deere though. They were all Olivers and Farmers.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. I was wondering if we get through this show without a brand loyalty. Shots fired, boys.
It's all good.
I love it.
I guess.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Anybody got any last words?
I think we're good.
Are you in a hurry or something? Oh, he's waiting. He's got to eat his pizza. That's what he's doing.
I'm trying to eat my pizza, man.
Does he have an update or no? We'll set it later on.
We'll set it later on. He'll change it 15 times.
I was going to say, ain't going to be next month.
All right, JR, take us out of here.
I'm not ready. I'm not used to this. My show last night ran over 20, 25 minutes. So, hey.
Well, if I let Owen talk another 5 minutes, it'd be another 5 hours.
That's okay. But tell the Harrisburg guys, we were in there the weekend before you guys, and yeah, it takes a lot of water on that track. Well, we ended up with one of the better tracks I think that we've ever had the weekend before you guys.
Oh yeah, for Keystone National.
Yeah, and it's expensive. That's an expensive building. Very expensive.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, we had to come up with like $22,000 for everything. So
that's
sleds, buildings.
That's cheap. That's cheap. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's cool though. I'm glad y'all stepped in and kept that going. I was going to be there, but believe it, I was still fighting the flu. There was no way I was going to stand it another weekend that many hours. I couldn't do it. Hopefully next year, for sure. That's it, guys. Anybody speak?
Check out the Southwest Antique Tractor Association website, and we'd love to have you come down. Our first pull is April 22nd at the Crawford Track over next to Smith Mountain Lake. Food vendor will be there. We'd love to have some of you guys.
I got one coming up here, Greg. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that Don Remley's Memorial Pool, that's going to be May 13th in Forksville, PA, Sullivan County Fairgrounds. That's another. I mean, listen, Don was great at tractor pulling. He was well known. He was great. So we usually get quite a few tractors. I think last year we had 40 tractors, small tire and big tire. There's another place. We start out with small tire, 15.5, 38s, 16.9, 34s. We pull that. Then we take a little break there in between, and then we pull a 5 mile an hour. Isn't it 5?
It's 5 mile an hour big tire.
5 mile an hour big tire after that. And those weight classes,
45, 55, 6, and 65 for big tire. And then small tire is 45, 55, 65, and 75.
That's another track that you don't know what you're going to get until you get there. It's tough. So
They got a right hand turn in it too.
Say what?
Got a little turn to it at the end of the track.
Yes, it does.
It's a good track. It's weird, yeah. But Don loved the challenge when he pulled. He loved that place. So
down the bottom, they have a comment here. Harrisburg going to happen again next year. As far as I know, everything will go again. It'll be probably the end of March, like it was this year after Keystone Nationals.
Okay.
Are you ready now, JR, or you want to stir a little more?
Hey, I'm just giving you guys the opportunity. If there's any pools you want to talk about real quick, if anybody's got any more questions in chat. Pretty active tonight in chat-wise. That was pretty cool. Some of them I couldn't allow through. It was a little.
We do have another pool there. He was talking about Trout Run up there for Quiggles. They have another pool this year. It's a 3-day pool, and that is June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. They're having a non-cut tire bracket. That's going to be what is that? 5250 class. A bunch of guys up home here's been wanting to see what a non-cut tractor can do in those brackets, so they're going to do that. And then they're doing the same thing as we did up at Burr Hill for points. They're going to run on the 25th. That's going to be, or the 24th. That's going to be 45 to 65. And then that what they pay back, that is what they pay back is great. It's almost 85% payback. All they want is enough money to run their sled up and down the.
Where was that at?
Shot run.
Drag run.
Shot run.
So, then the following day they have 4 more money classes, and same thing, 80% payback. It's $25 a hook. They keep 20, or they keep 5 and pay out 20 to the top 3 places. You know, and that's what we find has been getting these pools a little bit bigger up in our area.
There you go.
There you go, R2.
Well, I will say this, since Olin told me I have to behave. For those of you that are south of us and north of us, you know, we do at least pull under a roof one time a year at the Delaware State Fair. So you can kind of travel to that one. And we pulled in the rain. We pulled nice and cold. That one doesn't get canceled. So.
And when was that again?
It's the last week in July.
Last
Every year.
weekend in July.
I'll tell you
Last
what
Saturday.
the date is this time, but it's the last Saturday every year. July 29th.
And it's to the young farmers of Delaware, young farmers and ranchers.
Yeah, one day after my birthday.
Ooh,
So we all get
open
saying
that
happy
night.
birthday to Richard because one day after his birthday and everything.
And Olin tortures me there too, so don't you worry about that.
I might get to make that one. I'm sitting here looking at the East Coast schedule, and that's open right now, as of now.
We would certainly love to see
We
you
would
guys.
love that.
Ain't that far to go.
And the fair's going on too. It's, you know,
Oh boy,
Plenty to eat.
that ought to be fun getting in and out of.
it's not
It's
terrible.
not bad. It's
Hey,
not bad.
The fair takes pretty good care of us as far as getting us in and out. It might be a little bit of a ways to drive in and out, but we get in and out.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's nice to have a pool around the fair. We have one little club that they always have. They pull around a fair all the time or something. It's nice to have other family members that are, you know, want to take a walk and see other things or get something to eat. It's nice to have a fair pool.
Well, and I will say that they normally fill the arena with spectators, believe it or not, even
Yes.
for antique tractor pulling. So you kind of get a different crowd, and it's a little different atmosphere.
It is the Delaware State Fair.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. It's not a county
state-
fair. It's the state fair.
It's a big fair.
Delaware.
Oh Lord, there you
What is
go.
there to do in Delaware? My
Eat
mother-in-law's in Delaware.
I pay sales
Seaford.
tax.
I pay sales
I
tax.
pay sales tax.
And we lost Nicole. Her phone died. So
What are you gonna do?
We've had that.
Yes, we have. He had to finish it last time because I had that.
We get to see the ending.
We do. Take
Yes,
us
we
out of
get
here,
to
JR.
all right. Well, thanks everybody. Some of
Thank
you
you,
haven't met.
everybody.
It's good to put a face with a name, and it's good meeting the Tennessee fellows there, and Greg and Don. I don't think I've met you guys personally, but I've certainly seen you pool and stuff. So the other guys there beside you there, I just, you know, that Brian Rutrow guy, he's ornery, but we like old Brian. And Brian Lester, I haven't yet to meet him face to face, I don't think, but I'm sure I will be at the next Chatham pool. So
Yes, sir.
I'm sure
We'd
we'll
love
meet.
to have you.
We'll hold you to that.
You
We
might,
heard-
we all
you
heard
know.
that. You might even make your way to White Pine sometime. You never know.
Well, you know, I was going to go to White Pine, but I can't get any help. So it's kind of hard to film 2 antique tracks with one camera. So it doesn't work.
You're always welcome to White
Can't
Pine.
hold you down.
I'm not.
Yes.
Maybe they know an
Yes.
FFA that does.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to have to get a private jet. That's a lot of traveling, but that's okay. Well, we appreciate you guys coming on. I don't know when these guys are going to set the next date, so I'm sure I'll know at 7:00 that morning. How, you know, because I haven't made a post yet. When's our show? So,
We'll deal with it. Don't worry about it.
You feel better now?
oh no, I'm not done with you guys yet. Don't you worry. Just keep an eye on Facebook.
We'll live through it.
Okay. We appreciate everybody joining in. And by all means, for these guys, like, subscribe, share. You know, give this show a thumbs up. Gives these guys confidence. And, you know, I know they have a lot to talk about. They have a lot more shows planned. And Olin seems to have an ever-growing list of guests, which is fantastic. He's having better luck than I do. So, but I'm sure we'll be within a month at least before we have another show, maybe sooner. You know, it's up to them. I've always said it's up to them. So just let me know when. And come support these antique pullers, man. These this is grassroots of pulling right here. And, you know, I was one. I'll admit it. I never went to antique pools, but you know what? Somebody just tried to chime in.
Cloudiness is the lights.
It's okay. But I thoroughly enjoy going to these Delmarva events, Chatham, and I want to come north too. So, you know, I know some people that pull up that way. So, absolutely. It's a lot of fun. Come support them. They count too. Antiques count too, right? Classic tractors. Classic tractors. All right, I'm done babbling. Let me get over here to the brand, and we'll catch everybody on the next show. We'll let you know on Facebook and all that good stuff when the next show will be. But I think we plan about once a month. So we'll see.
May would be the difficult month.
That's next month.
Yep, May. We'll let you know.
Well, you know, I'm sure R2 can handle it. So we appreciate everybody coming in. Thank you, guests.
From the tractor.
Thanks for having us, Jerry.
I'll do it in the cab.
There you go. Nothing like live video, man. That's the way to do it, right? But you guys can hang out, and we'll hang out backstage here real quick until the closing's done, and we can chat real quick and then call it a night or whatever. So, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you.